Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on episode 12 of Code Geass R2. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So last we left off, there was a pretty big bombshell in the form of the Knights of the Round going to school and joining the student council. So, oh my god, if that weren't enough, Lelouch's little body double ended up kissing Shirley to distract her, so Lelouch has got to deal with a whole host of new problems. And the worst part is that Sayako is kind of like, going off the grid, acting as a maverick. Like, Lelouch sort of concedes that it was maybe the right thing to do at the time, and he probably would have done it too, but boy, does that add a whole bunch of complications Lelouch probably could have done without, Man, I wonder how he's going to get out of this stuff with Shirley, because, it seems like that's sort of boiling to the forefront now. I mean, with the previous episode dealing with Tianzi and her, annulment of her marriage, I guess, and Lelouch ultimately deciding to, not marry her off politically, it's time for romance, I guess. And, if Lelouch is sort of broken up about everything, Shirley she's having a real one, it's never good when you're talking to someone in the shower. No good conversations happen in the shower. And it seems like it's unfortunate that now every girl seemingly has an appointment with Lelouch. So, I guess Shirley's special in that she's kissed him, but man, that she can't monopolize his time is unfortunate for her. Oh boy. So, with an episode title like Love Attack, I feel this is definitely a romance-heavy episode. I doubt we'll be seeing any nightmare frames. So, Sayako has essentially filled out Lelouch's entire day, where he's going to be, spending all sorts of time with various women. And, man, that's something. Because, not only is he doing that, but then he's, showing up with the Chinese Federation and doing stuff oh, man. This seems like hell, honestly, to have your entire day plotted out to such a degree to be so absolutely busy that every minute has to be micromanaged. And, that would all be bad enough if you were a normal person, but to have to sneak around the Knights of the Round and to be Zero and all that, and to have a picture of him as a child, as a Britannian prince, showed to him, that's something, because he's gonna have to lie his way out of that. And all these knights of the round, like, they're very nosy and eager to be friendly, and I feel like they're not doing so sincerely. I get the distinct impression they're definitely playing some sort of an angle here, like that Anya girl. Like, she has very flat affect, and I feel like that's hiding deviousness, So the poor guy, oh dear. It would be one thing if, like, someone just, like, briefly knocked him over, but, like, he bumped into Shirley, which is probably the worst outcome for him. Especially because he is supposed to be meeting with her. Ooh. Yeah. If bumping into her under this condition wasn't bad enough, they're just having a public fight in front of, like, 24 people. Like, that's bad no matter how you try and swing it. And I guess now the student council president, she wants it to be, Cupid Day, presumably something of her own invention to try and, put the focus on love and not fighting. So, something tells me she's gonna go out of her way to sort of pair up Lelouch and Shirley, probably to everyone's chagrin, really. Okay. So, I guess the idea is... Oh. Alright, so it's like bizarre enforced relationship capture the flag, where if you steal someone else's hat, like, by order of the student council president, you have to be lovers. I get the distinct impression that this is something of a mistranslation, because by order of the student council that you become lovers, like, that sort of implies a sexual relationship, which I don't think the student council has authority over. At least I should hope not, but that certainly adds a new dimension to everything that, if someone were to steal your hat, like, you gotta start dating, no choice in the matter. So, something tells me everyone's gonna be after Lelouch's hat. Now, of course, it's all well and good to have Cupid Day shenanigans, but it seems as though the command structure of the Britannian Empire is none too happy about the state of things. Just because Lelouch sort of scuppered that deal between them and the Chinese Federation, it's not like Britannia and the Chinese Federation were on, like, great terms to begin with, but the idea was that things would improve. Ooh. Okay, so we have the Knight of One here, the best and brightest of the Empire. Now, it is interesting that the Emperor acknowledges that only a fool would wage a war. I guess it makes sense in a way. Like, you really only, like, resort to physical violence as a last resort. If you can get what you want through peaceful means, it's probably the best way to do it. And it is interesting that we're finally seeing a little bit of Cornelia. Not sure what precisely she's up to, but she's going around killing people, and she now seems aware of the Geass. So I imagine, I guess based on what she was saying, she's certainly investigating Euphemia and what happened there, and I feel like if she were to come up with some concrete evidence that Euphemia was clearly not herself, then, boy, that would upend a whole bunch of stuff. So it seems like Euphemia's name is coming up a lot, with, Cornelia's knight here talking to Suzaku. Oh, hey, Kallen. Forgot about her. She was, captured and all that. And, if they're letting her out of the cage, that probably bears well for her. Especially if Nunnally was the person letting her out. So, Oh boy. So for Cupid Day, Lelouch is plotting to just, take care of all these girls in one fell swoop, but he's bringing Villetta in on this, and whoa, buddy. Clearly she's none too keen on that, and frankly, who would be, but I feel like Lelouch is missing the obvious thing in that maybe he should attend to Shirley. She's not too happy about, the previous day. She probably still isn't happy. So, maybe you should take some effort to try and mollify her, if only for practical reasons. So, I wonder what the rest of the members of the student council are doing. Surely they're not necessarily taking part of the festivities, right? The president, she has to oversee this stuff to a degree, right? Wow. It's interesting that this is a whole, sponsored event, essentially. Oh boy. So I feel like as soon as this whole thing begins, everyone's just gonna make a mad rush for Lelouch, right? It's bound to happen. And, I don't know. I've just got this gut feeling that things are about to get hectic in short order, I don't want to say it would necessarily turn to violence, but, man. High school people on their hormones and all that, things get very interesting. And I guess the president has sweetened the pot, I suppose. So, man. Ooh, okay. That's interesting, alright. Rolo has decided to intervene. So I'm wondering what the deal is here. Is he just okay, yeah, he's just hiding Lelouch so that he just up and vanishes. I feel like the immediate closet right behind Lelouch is probably not a good hiding place, but what else are you gonna do in a dire situation like this? I mean, there are crazed high school girls you have to worry about. I do feel bad for that girl who immediately ran headlong into the locker. That's gotta hurt. But, man. Ooh. Okay. So that's what Cornelia is after. She's interested in, Jeremiah and the people who are experimenting on him and all that stuff. I mean, this Bartley guy, he's trying to explain things away, but I feel like with that bayonet, Cornelia's not gonna suffer him lightly. And I do seem to recall there being a little bit of explanation about Jeremiah, that they were trying to sort of artificially create, or rather recreate, C2's powers through him. I don't know if there's been any success on that front, and, the guy doesn't seem remarkably stable, but... Oh, you know what? Oh, no, okay. I was gonna say this is the body double, right? This is Sayako in disguise, but no, it's actually Lelouch, because he just immediately Geasses her into giving back the hat. I get it. That's probably a good use of it, but I feel like it's slightly tactless to just, immediately do that when you could keep your option open for something a little bit more important in the future. That's kind of, I hesitate to say, the problem with the Geass, but, it really incentivizes being careful, because if you can only use it once, if you waste it, it's over. Ooh. Okay, so Millie is a little suspicious about Lelouch and how he's moving and all that. Because, like, the idea is he's, like, you know, not public enemy number one, but, like, the top target here. And I guess, you know, Lelouch has never really displayed any athleticism like this. So, you know, maybe the president, who knows him better than most, is right to be a little suspicious. So I guess the question is, you know, this seems like one of those fun episodes, like early on with the cat, but I'm wondering if there's going to be any consequence as a result of this episode. You know, Lelouch performing all these incredible acts of gymnastics, like, you know, he's never done that before, he probably won't do it again. Is anyone gonna remember? Yeah, you know, it's kind of like a real whiplash for Shirley. It's like, you know, like she thought he was sort of like kind of crashing out in his studies and in life in general, but, you know, now he's suddenly a star athlete, so, you know, I guess she doesn't really need to help him after all. Oh, jeez. So, you know it's over when the Knights of the Round are sortieing just for this little Cupid Day stunt. Like, for the Mordred to be flying around, like, I mean, it really seems like other people are sortieing in response to this, as if there might be an incident. Like, there very clearly isn't anything going on, anything important, but, like, I mean, suddenly you're gonna have nightmare frames crawling all over the school. It's not good, you know? Like, I feel like it's, definitely possible there could be, like, a live fire incident. Good lord. For Anya to just, like, you know, punch a hole in the wall with the nightmare frame, that's, man, that's, I feel like there should be consequences for this, you know? Like, you know, people in the military, like, fighter pilots, they can't just sortie a plane without authorization and stuff. I feel like there should be heavy consequences for Anya. Man. Alright, so Sayako, she's got to play a bit of a careful game here because, you know, she is Lelouch and Shirley are talking here, and it's like, man, you gotta tread carefully. At least Shirley's sort of buying this, you know, saying that Lelouch is back to himself, back to normal. You know, whatever that means from her perspective, but, you know, maybe it would be better if Lelouch himself were present for this, just so he knows about the events that are going on. Because, you know, that's kind of already gotten him into trouble as it is. Ooh. Okay. Wait a minute. Alright, okay, I guess I got fooled. Like, is this actually Sayako? Because, like, Shirley was clearly pretending to go in for a kiss. I thought she was gonna, like, yank the mask off and say, like, aha, you're an imposter, but, I suppose not. Although she did, rather shrewdly swap their hats, thus sealing the deal. Man, you know, the entirety of the school has got to be pretty disappointed over this, right? At least all the girls that Lelouch has been dating, essentially. Gotta feel kind of bad for Suzaku and all the others, where they're like, oh, we're sortieing now? What's going on here? And it turns out it's just literally nothing. Like, I know I said this is probably going to be a consequence-free episode just because it's a fun little one-off thing, but, like, there really should be consequences for deploying military assets to a school just to try and get a leg up on a silly contest. I feel like everyone's sort of stuck on the idea that the president's graduating and they should thank her and all that, but I feel like maybe some students could probably latch onto the idea that this was rigged to a degree, that it just so happens the president's friend won, essentially. The student council's going to be weird without her, but, sometimes things never change, by which I mean that little Pizza Hut box. It's always good to see Pizza Hut and Code Geass. I think once I finish watching R2, I think I'm just going to go back and maybe, edit a little supercut of all the times there was Pizza Hut showing up. I wonder how much collective screen time it's had. Would it be enough for, a 24-minute episode? I certainly hope so. So I'm wondering who the president is going to be now. Because, with this graduation... Oh, dear. Okay, yeah, that's clearly less important than this Geass stuff going on. It seems like Jeremiah has been something of a success if he can do something. Ooh. A Geass canceller that can destroy Geasses. That's dangerous. And so I guess if he's destroyed the Geass affecting Shirley, then she now remembers everything, right? It destroys the Geass the Emperor placed on her, destroys the Geass the Luge placed on her. She remembers that he's Zero. Oh, buddy. So I guess now she's a wild card. Oh, man. The Luge better watch out. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.